Hi guys. And today will be another vlog. I haven't been feeling very well, so I figured I'd talk about it. So I mentioned that I have depression. I don't remember if I mentioned that I have bipolar depression. Bipolar depression is not bipolar disorder. They're two separate things. I'll talk about both. Bipolar depression is there's not much to it. I mean, basically like the most generic description I could give you is you're never really happy. You can have happy moments and stuff, and days that are where you have quite a few happy moments, but you're not exactly happy. So you fluctuate between the feeling of mostly a constant sadness with maybe a few happy moments, and you fluctuate between that and a deeper sadness, a very, very sad sadness. So right now I'm kind of low right now. So there's not much that cheers me up when I feel like this. Actually went on a reliable website to give you some of the symptoms, because what I said is basically it. You can see it's the iPad. Is basically the most generic description, but I'll just read to you in case you were wondering the other things you'll feel. Depressed mood most of the day, which means you can have some happy times. Like when I spend time with my best friend and her kids, they're just the cutest, and I love spending time with them, and that makes me happy, and I enjoy that time. But a lot of times I'm alone, so a lot of that is, mostly crappy during the day. Feeling sad or empty, tearful. Significant loss of interest or pleasure in activities that used to be enjoyable. That's why I haven't made like a singing video. Sorry, there's a gnat. A singing video. I run an Instagram fan account. If you don't know, if you're from Instagram, you do know. But I haven't posted too much in the last few days because I've also been having stomach problems, so I'm sick a lot. But it's one of those things where I kind of stopped reading, which was one of my favorite things in the world. When I was younger, I don't watch movies that often. I haven't been playing video games, and I'm a hardcore video gamer. So it's it sucks because you do stop doing stuff that you really love, which you would think would make you feel better, but you can't even get yourself to. I lost the page. You can't even get yourself to do it. So. Oh my god, I swear if I push that button one more time. I'm not used to using Apple stuff. This is my mom's. Oh, I lost it. No. Well, I'll keep talking. So you just lose a lot of interest in the things you like to do. I also write. I haven't done much of it. I've been writing fan fiction, but not like book writing or poetry writing, which I used to do. And it sucks because I have a lot of ideas in my head that I want to write down. I can't get them down. And then, let me find that page I was at. I apologize. Here it is. Okay. Significant weight loss. I don't have that, but you can. Just like I said with regular depression, you can have that. And then or weight gain and decrease or increase in appetite. My Appetite's actually been decreased, so I've lost a little bit of weight. I still weigh a lot, but difficulty sleeping or sleeping too much. I have both of those. Difficulty sleeping could mean insomnia, which is actually a diagnosable thing. I have insomnia. The opposite of insomnia is hypersomnia, where you sleep too much, and I actually have both. I haven't been diagnosed, but I think I have the one circadian rhythm disorder. I can't think of what it's called, where your body wants to fall asleep later and get up later, instead of most people who can fall asleep around 9 or 10 and get up at 6 or 7 for work. I do have to get up that early for work, but my body does not, I cannot relax my body or get it to shut down until probably 1 o'clock in the morning, usually. And on days that I'm not working, honestly, I could sleep till 3 in the afternoon, but I try to get up at 10 o'clock and I'm still tired. I also have sleep apnea, which I won't talk about right now, but it makes you extra tired too. Agitation or slowing down of thoughts and reduction of physical movement. I don't have that. That's kind of, why can't I think of the medical term for it? I should know it. I do know it. It's in my head, and I spent 3 years studying this stuff, and I just can't think of it right now. Catatonia. That's kind of like a form of catatonia. Whoops, knocked over Fall Out Boy. I don't have that, but fatigue or loss of energy, I do have that, but you'll get that with depression too. So a lot of these things you'll get with depression. I mean, they're the same symptoms, but like I said, the difference is you fluctuate between sad and really sad. Like, there's no real good days or anything like that. And when you're depressed, you can have the good days, but you're usually a steady depressed. So you're either a steady kind of depressed or a steady very depressed. You don't fluctuate like that. Feelings of worthlessness or inappropriate guilt, same thing. You get that with depression too. Poor concentration or having difficulty making decisions. I have that very badly from my depression. It is very hard for me to concentrate on a lot of things. Not so much like at my job. I can concentrate on my work usually, but if I have to do anything that has to do with like figuring out, planning ahead, or like anything with math and stuff like that, that's very hard for me. And then thinking about death or suicide, which again goes with depression. So anyway, that's what I have, and that's why I haven't been feeling very great. And I figured even though I'm not feeling great, I should, probably talk about it. Maybe that would help. But now we're at 8 minutes. That's all right. I'll keep going. I'll try to quickly tell you what bipolar disorder is. Bipolar disorder is different. It is, if I could spell. It's not, most people don't know what it is because, in the media and just, pretty much anywhere, it's just tossed around as a term that's almost meaningless nowadays. And it's not. It's a very serious condition. And it's usually a lifelong condition. It can be treated and everything. But people like to say, oh, I woke up this morning feeling so happy, and then I was just a teary mess tonight. I'm so bipolar. No, you're not. That drives people with mental disorders crazy. And not just people with bipolar, like people that understand these disorders, it drives us crazy. It's in the media, and it's like it's everywhere. It's really and it's very serious. It's not something to joke about. We really should not be joking about that kind of stuff. But there's really nothing we can do right now because of the media, because of movies and television, and just how we are so undereducated in this country about mental disorders. So here's the difference between bipolar disorder and bipolar depression. Bipolar disorder is also called manic depressive disorder, because those are the two things you have. You have periods of depression, usually last quite a while, months at a time, and then you have periods of mania. Mania, the word comes from, the same word that maniac comes from. Mania is feelings of elation. You feel like you can do anything. Usually it comes with a lot of energy. And the bad part about it is people with bipolar disorder can get lots of things done sometimes. Like Pete Wentz has bipolar disorder, and I don't know personally, but I would assume that a lot of the great lyrics he's written probably came during periods of mania, because you can get intensely focused. The bad part about mania is you want to do so many things and all at once. So like a lot of times people won't finish that first thing they're doing because, say I'm like Pete and I'm writing a song. Okay. Oh, well, I have half the song done, but now I want to go start a business. And again, I'm not saying this is what Pete did. I'm just saying this is like an example. Okay, so I'm going to start a business. So let me take this loan out. And then you take the loan out that you can't pay for or whatever, and you don't do it. So now you got this debt or whatever, and then you switch to something else. The other bad things about mania, it can cause delusions of grandeur, meaning you think you are the king, that you can do anything, jump off a building and fly. And I mean that in a literal way. People do that. Really think that they can do things like that and get themselves killed. It also causes sexual deviancy, meaning, I know there might be young people watching this, but it means that basically, when you have sex, if you do not protect yourself, you are risk getting diseases, and if you're a woman, you risk getting pregnant. Sexual deviancy, when I'm talking about manic or mania, is going out having sex with lots of people, not using protection, and not worrying about it. Because you literally are not thinking clearly. You don't have the inhibitions that you have normally. Your brain will not say, hey, this is a bad idea. Same with, like I said, taking out a loan for a business that you probably aren't ready to start. That your brain is not telling you this is a bad idea because that part of your brain is not functioning. Like I said, you can get a lot of creative things out of mania, but for the most part, it's a very bad thing. Now, the periods of mania, it depends on the person. Some people have 1 or 2 manic episodes a year. Some can have more than that, 1 every couple months. Mania, I think, if I remember correctly, usually lasts a few days to a few weeks. Not as long as the depression. So you'll have the bigger spurts of depression than the smaller spurts of mania. So like I said, it's not I'm sad, I'm happy. No, that's not. If you're having days like that where you're weepy when you wake up and then you're feeling great the rest of the day, you don't have bipolar depression. Bipolar disorder. I'm making a video. Sorry, it was my mom. But, so I lost track of where I was. Anyway, so it's much more serious than that. It's not something that should be joked about. Like I said, it can cause serious problems. How I said, about jumping off buildings, it's not a joke. I mean, people can do things and get themselves killed. You could think you're a race car driver and be driving around town like a maniac and get into an accident. Because a lot of times they have that feeling that, sometimes you have when you're younger, like when you're a teenager, that you'll never die. And we all go through that. It's just part of being a young person. You think you're never going to die. But these people literally believe it with all their hearts and will do reckless things like drive way too fast or take drugs. That's another thing. A lot of times the people will do heavy drugs, which obviously is dangerous for anybody, especially if you're on medication for bipolar disorder or any other disorder. In fact, you shouldn't do illegal drugs in the first place, but you should never mix illegal drugs with drugs for depression, anxiety, psychosis, or anything like that. It's very dangerous. I mean, it's not really safe to mix it with alcohol. I mean, I'm 28, so sometimes I do go out, not very often, once a month maybe, and I'll have some drinks, but I will never take my Xanax that same night or that same day because it's very unsafe. And obviously I always have a designated driver, so it's not because I'm driving, it's just because it's just really unhealthy. It's unhealthy for your organs, and it's not safe. And again, alcohol's not healthy for your organs anyway, so don't drink, kids. But anyway, those are the biggest differences between bipolar depression, which is what I have, and bipolar disorder. I hope you learned something about bipolar disorder. That's not something that we should joke about. It's not something you should, it's not a term you should use on a daily basis just to joke about your mood, because for the people that have it, which is not a huge part of the population. Let me see if it's on here. Let's see. The Mayo Clinic doesn't have the exact percentage here. It says more than 3 million U.S. cases per year. I don't know how accurate that is. I mean, it is the Mayo Clinic, so it's probably fairly accurate. So it's not as common as depression and anxiety, but it is more common than, say, schizophrenia, which I'll talk about some other time too, or multiple personality disorders, which again are also two different things, and other serious disorders. So it's more common than that, but a lot less common than just depression and anxiety. We're at like 17 and a half minutes, so I guess I'll stop because it's very hard for everything in my house to upload to YouTube. I don't know what it is, but just like my Wi-Fi is so bad that nothing will ever upload, so hopefully this will make it up. Maybe you learned something today, and if you're having any of those symptoms, definitely get checked out. Ask me questions in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.